Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to teach you how to assemble and lubricate properly your Gans 3 with the octopus core, because this one is a little bit trickier than most puzzles to assemble, so I figured I'd make it a tutorial. All you're going to need is your DIY set and your silicone or whatever lube you want to use, but this is the one I use. So the first thing we want to do is get everything out of the bag. Here's your sticker set. You can either use this sticker set when you're done assembling and lubing or not. It's really up to you. I choose to use different ones. Here's your hardware. We'll get to that when the time is ready. Here's your octopus core. This is what really trips people up about assembling this puzzle. And here's all your pieces. All right, so the first thing you want to do is, and here's your little tool so you can adjust it. So the first thing you want to do is assemble the edges and the corners. So for the edges, what you want to do is just take two of them and they fit together quite intuitively. Just like that. And you want to do that to all your edges. And then you want to take your corners and you'll have three pieces just like this. And you just kind of fit them together. And then you put another one on. And you fit this one in. And that will make your corner. Now when you're putting your corners, you kind of want to squeeze all three of these sides together to make a good seam around the corner. And you want to do that with all of your corners and all of your edges. And you can pause the video now and do that because I'm just going to skip ahead. Alright, so once you've got all your pieces assembled, you got your corners, your edges, and then you've got your caps and your center pieces. We want to put away the corners and edges for now, and we'll take the center pieces and the hardware here. Let's just zoom up, and we'll dump this hardware out. I'm using a glass table, so I'm going to dump it out on this plastic bag so it doesn't scratch my table. There's actually a lot more hardware than you need in here. You're going to find that you're going to have two different types of springs. One is really, really thin, like soft, and one is a lot harder. For me, the harder ones, which are the more copper or goldish colored ones, are better. So those are the ones I use. And then you have a whole bunch of washers and a whole bunch of these nuts. You have way more than you need. But let's go ahead and start lubricating. So what you want to do is grab your center pieces, and inside the hole here you'll find that there's another little lip down there. And you just want to put a little bit of lube in there and kind of move it around the bottom of that hole. And you want to do that for all of them. So I'll just do that real quick, just a little bit. You can see how quick it goes. So this is my main, guys. That's another reason why I decided to do this, is because I think this, for me at least, is one of the better cubes on the market. And I didn't think that at first, but after playing with it for a while, it definitely was. Alright, the next step is to put a washer in every single one of these. So I just put a washer on my finger and I turn the cap upside down on it and I put it in, and then I use the tip of this to push it down flat. And then I put more lube on top of the washer. Alright, and I do that for every single one. So I'll do that and you can pause and come back when you're done. Alright, so now that I'm done putting all the washers in my piece, the way we assemble this now is we put one of them over like this, and we put one of these springs on, and then we take our little screwdriver thing and a nut. And the way I put this inside the screwdriver is I put it on my finger, and then I put this on top and then turn it upside down, and now you can see that there's a nut inside there. And then I take my core and I put them together like this, and I push them together with my hands, and then I turn until I can start feeling that nut being screwed onto the core. And now that it's on, I can take a look and you can see that it's going on. In this case, it's going on a little bit crooked, but don't worry, if you go just a little bit more, it'll go straight. Okay, so I'll show you how much I put them on. So I put them on about this much. All right, so there's just a little tiny bit poking out. So now you're just gonna have to eyeball that yourself. Now that side's done, I do the opposite side. So I take another one, put it in, put a spring in, take a bolt, put that inside, and the same thing. Just push together and turn and keep doing that. So that's still not quite enough. All right, so a little bit more, and that's probably good there. So now you can see that these two are on and they have even tensions. And then I just go ahead and do that with the rest of the 4. So you can pause and do that now, and I'll see you when you're done. All right, so I'm just screwing my last one on, and then after this, all we have to do is just assemble the pieces. So that's pretty good. Now we take our pieces, and this is the tricky part of this. You want to take an edge and put it in between 2 centers. But it's not like a typical core. You can see how the centers want to go crooked like that, and they're just going to want to pop out. So you kind of have to hold the cube really well as you're doing this. So what I'll do from here is I'll hold it like this, and I'll lift up this and put my finger in there. Okay, that way I can get another edge in, no problem. And then I kind of just continue to hold it like this. I don't want these edges popping out. And then I take a corner, and I put a corner down here. And then I put it on the table. And I try to make it as square as possible, and then put another edge in. Now it can be tricky because you can see that this center is down far, so you kind of have to hold everything really well and just kind of fiddle with it, and you'll get it. It just takes a little bit of time, just like that. And then the next one is pretty much the same thing. Like, you gotta, I don't know, you just kind of have to like lift up on this one here while it's on the table and see if you can get the piece in there all the way down, and then put another corner in, just like we did on the last one. And then we put another edge on this one, just like that. Now the tensions that I put it on, what I showed you, those aren't the actual tensions. That's just the tensions to be able to put this thing together. So again, we lift up. Oh, pieces want to fly out. And we put it down, and we put a corner in, and then another edge in. All right, so now we're looking like this, and we want to stabilize this bottom by putting another corner in. All right, so now before we put this edge in, we want to start building our top layer, and I start with an edge. So we put an edge in, and I just kind of move it over. And then I put a corner in, and I move it over. And I'm using this empty slot here to put in my next piece. So then we put in an edge, put in a corner, and then an edge. And now from here, I position the cube like this. I turn the top layer 45 degrees, and this is where we start lubing the puzzle again. So the next thing we want to do is put the edge in this position here, but we want to lube it first. So what I do is I just take a little bit of silicone oil, and you can see that we have a groove here. And of course some of the lube is going to get in that groove, so I try to put it just on the side a little bit. And then I put it down on this track down there. And that is how I lube the edge piece of a Gans 3. And then I put that edge in. Now the next corner goes in. I usually put it on the right side, and then I lube on the edge in there. I lube on top of this base piece inside the edge. So I put it in, and I lube it, and that's it. The cube is lubed. And now we put in this other corner piece, and then the edge piece. Now the edge piece, when I put the last one in, I usually put the top part in first so it's sticking down, and then I force in the bottom part, just like that. And that is an assembled Gans 3. Now you want to work in the lube, okay, and you're going to find that it is quite it's quite loose still, but we're just doing that to assemble and working in the lube, and the lube is almost worked in. It doesn't take very long with this puzzle. Do some algorithms. Okay, so the lube is worked in pretty well. I'm sure it'll work itself in more with some solves. Now we want to tighten it a bit more. And because we already did even tensioning all the way around, we can kind of keep track. So, wrong way. We can do half turns. 1, 2. And then go to the next side. 1, 2, which makes a full turn. 1, 2. All I'm doing is putting it in and going 1, 2. And then this side, 1, 2, and the opposite side. 1, 2. Now how's the tension? So the tension is much better. I think I still need it a little bit tighter, so I'll do another half turn on each side. And now Yeah, I think that's a pretty good tension for me. So now all you got to do is put on your center caps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, that's a really good cube. I really enjoy this cube. I hope that you guys had, I'm sure it wasn't as easy as it looked. I mean, I've done it quite a few times now. So anyways, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.